Hello everybody, my name is Todd, and welcome back to another video. Okay, Fortnite dual pickaxes. Before I get into the actual video, I just want to say that the items have always kind of been niche. Yeah, they've always been kind of a niche item, not really much to add to it or say to it, but as far as like using them to go against your opponent, it just looks stupid. You look stupid going against your opponent fighting with two dual pickaxes. Like, some people might think in theory it's cool. It's not. It just looks clunky, bro.
Chapter 1, Season 9 with the Ripe Rippers. And ever since then, we have had a ton of different dual pickaxes in game. Now, the dual pickaxes used to be something that a lot of players liked, but as time went on, they became very oversaturated. We have had a ton, and I mean a ton of.
I mean, the pickaxes were always exaggerated. Like, for such a small niche thing to be so exaggerated, they've always been kind of exaggerated. Even still to this day, they're exaggerated. They're the most non-pick items ever. No one, no one uses them because of how clunky they are in the fight. And I'm never gonna say swap different times. It's the same thing. Doesn't matter if it's the same thing or not. Does not matter.
Different types of dual pickaxes, and even other types of pickaxes with different types of animations. But the dual pickaxes were the first of its kind to try something different. Instead of typically holding a pickaxe with both of your hands, you can now hold two, and this was kind of revolutionary at the time. The thing is though, nowadays,
It was not revolutionary. It was just a small niche things that players wanted. Well, the small player base wanted to carry two pickaxes because they thought it'd be cool. It was not revolutionary at all.
not a lot of players really use dual pickaxes because they're so.
Yeah, because in a realistic battle, fighting people in the battle royale, it's not realistic. That's why no one uses it. Like, when you're thinking about fighting somebody and you gotta hold two pickaxes to do it, it looks weird and clunky, and you look stupid when you find somebody like it. Unless you're going against someone that's good, who's at it for a while, who knows how to, like do the swap time thing, and who's very adjustable to how the game is, then maybe the argument would make sense. But no one who is playing will use two-handed. Like, even I use the two-handed pickaxes, but two-handed pickaxes are only used for two main reasons. One is for people who likes to show off the little, the stupid showcase thing where they're saying we're doing what's the thing called? It's like you go to creative and you do like some kind of like show off thing, show off your skins, and then this other dumb stuff. That kind of thing. Or in that, it's useless. And the only ones you see, well, not real players, obviously, but the only ones you really do see use them, besides real players, are bots. Bots are the only ones who use dual pickaxes. Bots are the only ones in the player base that use dual pickaxes. Yes, there'll be a small select few people who use them too, but bots are the only ones that you'll ever see running them.
Many now in game, you would think that the majority of the Fortnite community would be always using these, but it seems like that's not the case. How's it going, everyone? It's itstrulymystic, and in today's video, I kind of just oversaturation that it's had in the game. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So after the Ripe Rippers were introduced in Season 9, Fortnite kept coming out with more and more of these. And again, at the time, we thought these were pretty cool. However, the thing is, dual-wield pickaxes have a different type of animation. Obviously, they wouldn't function the same as if you're holding one pickaxe with both of your hands. You know, the typical OG, classic, iconic pickaxe. And so what players realize is that because of this animation change, it does feel a little clunky to use. Now, realistically, there's nothing happening here. The dual-wield pickaxes have the same pullout time and speed that the other pickaxes have in the game. And while there is a couple pickaxes that have slow input delay, or just all around are slower than other ones.
Well, you mean the ones that are very like really efficient? The one pickaxes, the one-handed pickaxes that you really see anyone uses, and the only ones that use them are pros. Those.
Most of the dual pickaxes in the game are pretty much the exact same as literally any other pickaxe. But because of this animation change, as players were getting better and better at the game, and pros were competing in tournaments, the competitive scene was rising, a lot of these types of players,
Yeah, because they wouldn't. They wouldn't. There's no complement when holding two pickaxes. If players get better, you have to like and you have to like double within the speed with 2 pickaxes to go against that person with a one single pickaxe, of course you're gonna be outmatched.
Decided to use the classic pickaxes like Icebreaker or Star One. You know, your typical sweaty pickaxes that you may see in.
Yeah, you would use a basic pickaxe against someone in a box fight, and a normal real match, because it's more simple. Why use 2 pickaxes? It takes longer to break, and then when it comes to editing, it looks terribly bad, especially with the swap time. I know we're gonna say it's the same swap time, but that doesn't mean anything. It's you still look clunky while doing it, and you leave so much open room while doing it. It's literally not the same thing.
From Pro's locker bundles. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with using these kind of pickaxes. They are pretty clean, match with your skin, and the animation just feels smooth overall. Like, as soon as you pull it out, it's there, you use it, you know how it works. But with the dual-wield pickaxes, that's just simply not the case. Regardless if there is an input delay or not with them, to a lot of players, they still just feel a little slower. It's hard to explain, but it's just how the feel a little slower. It's hard to explain, but it's just how the pros' brains work. And because of this, the normal two-hand pickaxes were popularized again for a really long time. Pretty much everybody wanted these same pickaxes in the item shop. Cold Snap, Icebreaker, Star One, the Icicle, Candy Axe. All classic, sweaty pickaxes that do look nice, can match with your skin, and
because they're the most popular pickaxes all the time.
feel very familiar to use. Eventually, we got other pickaxe animations, like one-handing a pickaxe, which eventually introduced the Leviathan axe, and you may know the story there. Everyone goes crazy for that pickaxe. Even nowadays, it still hasn't returned, which is crazy. And so it was settled. If you are going to be running a pickaxe in the game and are even competing in tournaments, cash cups, or playing ranked in general, it was clear that you had to have the least amount of input delay possible and the cleanest combos imaginable. And because of this, dual-wield pickaxes were slowly phased out. But that didn't stop Epic from...
You don't need much of a combo to challenge anybody in this game. Just simply get a character that looks like it would be Spuddy, and then get a simple pickaxe, no contrails, and you're good. You don't need no like whatever you're trying to like talk about. You don't need no like colors things and like extra vibrance to make you look good. Like get the soccer skin, right? Because the soccer skin is known as a sweat skin, and then get them like a basic pickaxe that's like one-handed, or the pickaxes that we use today, or whatever. You get the birthday cake pickaxe, and they'll be good. Like, what is bro talking about?
Them. As throughout the years, we've had a ton, but why? This is a question that I really can't even answer myself. Why does Fortnite continue to make so...
You want to know why? It's because the small player base wants them. And the only reason they keep bringing them in is because money. Because the top content creators who surround the game will buy them. That's why. And it doesn't matter. If a kid thinks it looks cool, they'll buy it. No matter how useless it looks, they'll buy it.
Many dual-wield pickaxes. I mean, a lot of these end up clogging the battle pass and ends up sitting in a bunch of our lockers collecting dust. I rarely see anybody in-game use any dual-wield pickaxes, let alone the battle pass ones. Now, occasionally they do come out with decent ones in the shop, like just recently, ironically, the Skibbity Toilet collab did have a pair of plungers that you can use, which is somewhat unique, and even with that TMNT collab, you had all those cosmetics that came with pretty cool pickaxes. Usually, the dual-wield pickaxes bundled with collaborations are the one most sought after and used, but anything that Epic originally comes up with is barely even a thought in most of the players' heads. And so to this day, we still get a bunch of dual-wield pickaxes that we just don't end up using. Now, what's pretty cool about some dual-wield pickaxes in the game is that there are selectable styles to change into a two-handed pickaxe. This really started happening in...
Yeah, and they need to get rid of that because it's literally getting in the way. Like, yeah, cool, you can make certain edit styles, but can you really do it for like a select few pickaxes? Why you gotta be for all like battle pass-ish pickaxes that have select styles? Why can't we just go back to like simple one-handed pickaxes, bro? Like the game's meant to be. This edit style stuff is cool for certain things, but for like all the things that come new, it just gets in the way of our like locker space, bro. It's useless. And like there's people on Twitter that even like say, I want my money back because of this. Like, for real though.
Chapter 2 Season 3, but ever since then, we have rarely had this as an option. I think it would be really cool for Epic to bring this back, as a lot of players do prefer the two-handed pickaxe, or even any other enemy.
You mean the small player base prefers the two-handed pickaxes? You mean that, right?
With the pickaxe for that matter. Dual wield really isn't that popular anymore, and I think we kind of need a break from it.
I mean, it was never really popular. What do you think about it?
But of course, Epic can always prove me wrong and can come up with the most amazing
No, you can't.
dual pickaxes ever seen. Either way, I'd really love to see how they.
Brother, not coming up with anything. Until next time, everybody.